All right, teammates, we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. I'm excited about tonight because we've been in kind of our recruiting and building bag for for the last few weeks. And so, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to build on that. We're going to build on that. This is going to be kind of our third and final installment, at least for this training series of our recruiting and building, right? And so, I'm going to share my screen. And what I did, I revisited the first week's deal, but I kind of modified it a little bit. So that's why I'm calling it recruiting and building, having a recruiting mindset 2.0. If you all remember, I did the first one when I was feeling really under the weather, and I couldn't quite squeeze all the juice out of it. And so I wanted to revisit. I said, maybe I should do it all over again. But I looked at it and I said, you know what? I put this together when I wasn't really quite 100%, but I had some new thoughts and some new things that I wanted to share, some stuff that you guys are probably already familiar with, but it's always good to reinforce it. So we're going to talk about recruiting and building, having a recruiting mindset, right? And so with that, guys, I want to talk about this story. It's called the parable of the pipelines. A lot of you guys have heard me say this, but I think that it applies a lot to what I want to discuss and having a recruiting mindset, because if you can understand this parable that I'm about to share with you, then you can understand pretty much kind of why recruit. Why do you recruit? And we've been talking about it and we've looked at it from a lot of different angles, Coach B Walk, over the past couple of weeks and stuff like that, why you should recruit and all of that. But I think that what really got me, Auntie, into the mind frame of why I should recruit and why I should try to build is when I first heard this story. I remember I was young in the business. I was still part-time. And this is when we used to listen to audio CDs in our car. Shadrika. And, now everybody's got playlists and streaming and things like that, audible, so you can just do it from your phone and all that type of stuff. But we would actually roll around. Y'all remember them CD cases like you would have, like them little, like you keep all your little audio CDs. Some of y'all might, I still got some. Who still got their CDs? Like I still got a bunch of CDs in our guest house, just my collection. I still got some at my mama house that I need to go get before they mess around and throw my CDs away and I'm gonna be hot. But I used to have this thick case, Coach B Walk. He had a binder of CDs. Yeah, Omar remembers. I used to have this binder of CDs, but it was just all personal development, self-development, Sean, just Primerica related stuff. And there was this one particular CD where Hector Lamarck, legend in Primerica, where he was telling this story. It was a recording of him doing his training, to his team. And in this training, Coach B Walk, he told the parable of the pipelines. I had never heard the story before, right? And so what it does, it tells this story of Pablo and Bruno, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read this story to you guys, and hopefully you feel it like I felt it when I first heard it, right? It says, once upon a time there was a small town. There was this small town. It was a great place to live, except for there was one problem. The town ran low on water until it rained. So they had to wait for it to rain in order for them to really get a flow of water. And that was just making the people miserable. They finally got fed up with it. So to solve the problem once and for all, the town council got together and they said, you know what? We're gonna put this whole situation out for bid. So they asked contractors to submit bids to deliver water to the town on a daily basis. Well, family, 2 people volunteered to take on the task, and the council awarded the contract to both of them because they felt that a little competition would keep the prices low and ensure that there would always be a backup supply of water. Stay with me, right? The first person who won the contract was a man named Pablo. Well, what did Pablo do? Pablo immediately ran out. He bought 2 steel buckets and began running back and forth to the lake, which was probably like about a mile away from the town. And what did he do? He immediately began making money as he labored from sunup to sundown, carrying buckets of water from the lake in his carrying water in his 2 buckets from the lake. And what he would do, he would empty them into a large concrete holding tank that the town had built. And each morning, he had to get up before the rest of the town got up, so he had to wake up early and make sure there was enough water for the people in the morning. And it was hard work. But you know what? Pablo was happy. Why was he happy? Because he was making money for having one of the two exclusive contracts for the business, right? So that's Pablo. The second winning contractor was a man named Bruno. And when Bruno got a contract, he disappeared for a while. He wasn't seen for months. And you know what? This made Pablo happy because he was like, hey, I don't have any competition. I'm making all the money. So, hey, more for me. So Pablo was happy. Bruno disappeared for some months. But instead of buying 2 buckets to compete with Pablo, Bruno, check this out, guys. He wrote a business plan. He created a corporation. He found 4 investors. And what did he do? He employed somebody to be a president to do the work. And he returned 6 months later with his construction crew. Y'all ain't listening. And within a year, Bruno with his team, they built a pipeline. Bruno realized that if the town need, okay, hold on a second, guys. Hold on. What just happened? Hold on a second, family. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, man. Okay. And so he built a construction. So the part of my story got erased. I don't know what the heck just happened. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, hold on a second. I'm get it. Hold on. I'm getting, because I'm making a point here. So y'all with me? Pablo Bruno carrying the buckets, right? He getting the buckets. And then you got, Pablo's got the buckets. Bruno is he built a corporation, hired a president, all that good stuff. And what did he do? He showed up with a construction crew to build a pipeline. All right, hold on a second. I'm opening it back up. Here we go. All right, so hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Just technical difficulties all the way around. So the second winning contract, it went to obviously Bruno. But instead of carrying the buckets, he wrote a business plan, created a corporation, found 4 investors, showed up with a construction crew. Within a year, he and his team, they built the pipeline. Now, what ended up happening is that when Bruno finished his pipeline, he and his crew, what he did is he went to the end of the falls. He had a whole grand opening celebration, a ribbon cutting for his pipeline. And when all the townspeople gathered, and when he went to the end of the pipeline, he turned on the water and the whole crowd cheered. And what they found out is that the water that was coming out of his pipeline, it was coming faster, it was coming more frequent, and it was cleaner than Pablo's water, because people had been complaining that, as he was carrying his water, they were getting leaves in it and all that stuff. And that was just making the people a little bit upset because his water was murky and a little bit dirty. But this wasn't a problem with Bruno's water because it was coming directly from the river into the holding tank, right? And so people were really excited. And so what ended up happening is that Bruno, in order to compete with this, said, hey, you know what? If he's supplying water like that 24/7 to the village, well, instead of me carrying 2 buckets, I'm going to carry 4 buckets. And then what he did, he hired his kids, Coach B Walk, and said, hey, like, y'all help me, carry buckets as well. And his kids did that until they got to the age where they can go to college. And then once they went to college, he said, hey, hurry back. When you get finished with college, come back and continue to help me in the family business. But the kids never came back. The kids never came back. And so what ended up happening is that when Bruno saw all the success that he was having with the village's water, Bruno realized that, hey, if this town needs water, then guess what? Other towns must need water too. So what did he do? He rewrote his business plan, and he went off to sell his high-speed, high-volume, low-cost, clean water delivery system to towns throughout the world. Now, Bruno only makes a penny per bucket, Sean, of the water delivered, but he delivers billions of buckets of water every day. Whether he works or not, billions of people consume buckets of water, and all the water pours, and all the money from him delivering that water pours into his bank account. What Bruno did, he developed a pipeline to deliver money to himself as well as water to the towns. Bruno, in all of this, he lived happily ever after. Happily ever after. But the challenge is that Pablo, what did he do? He continued to work hard. He was frustrated. He was trying to figure out how he can compete, but he couldn't compete, right? And so Bruno lived happily ever after. Pablo continued to work hard. He grew older. He began to get more and more tired. And then he began to feel burnt out because he was doing all the work. And although he wanted to stop carrying buckets, check this out, Eric, he wanted to stop carrying buckets. He knew that doing so would cause his income to stop. Pablo was trapped, and unfortunately, he had to work for the rest of his life. The end. That's the story, Pablo and Bruno, right? And so when I listened to that story, and I know that I kind of had to piece and parcel that together because the devil is a lie, and my little sheet got jacked up. But I think you guys got the gist of it. Did y'all understand the gist of that story? Okay, perfect, right? And so when you look at that and you listen to that, right, the question you got to ask yourself is, who would you rather be in this scenario? Would you rather be Pablo and Bruno? Of course you want to be Bruno. But such is life. You got to be able to look at your situation right now and how you're functioning in terms of how you're making your money. And the question that I always ask myself, Coach B. Walker, and I really started to ask myself more frequently, is, am I carrying buckets or am I building a pipeline? Right now, with the way that you're going about your Primerica business, are you carrying buckets or are you building a pipeline? And sometimes, Sean, I got to step back and I got to check myself. I said, you know what? I'm carrying buckets. And if I keep carrying buckets, then I'm going to continue to carry buckets. And I don't know about you guys, carrying buckets for a long period of time ain't fun. I don't mind carrying them for a short period of time, but I ain't trying to do it for forever. What we need to be focused on is building a pipeline. And that is what recruiting and building, Naomi, is all about, right? And so I talked about the cash flow quadrant. I want to revisit that. These are the 4 legal ways to make money in America. You can be an employee. You can be somebody that's self-employed. You could be a business owner, or you could be an investor. When I first saw this blew me away. Who knew about the cash flow quadrant prior to them getting involved with Primerica? Who knew about the cash flow quadrant, had been exposed to the cash flow quadrant prior to getting involved with Primerica? Raise your hand. Okay, Shadrika has, Auntie, you have. Anybody else, you learned about the cash flow quadrant prior to joining Primerica? I had learned about it because I read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he kind of alluded to it and talked about it. Then I got his second book, Cash Flow Quadrant, prior to me joining Primerica. But it wasn't, Mom raised her hand, I see it. I didn't really understand how to apply it until I got in Primerica. I said, oh, I see it now, right? If you don't mind me asking, Shadrika, where did you hear about the cash flow quadrant? Just real quick, who exposed you to it?
I was reading a book by David Bach called The Automatic Millionaire, and he alluded to it. And so I started to do a little Google search about it to see what it was all about. But like you mentioned, I still wasn't quite clear on how to apply it. So I was aware of it, but didn't have any application for it.
Gotcha. Very good. Auntie, what about you?
I heard about it through the book Think and Grow Rich. As well as going to different business workshops, and they kind of would point out the different quadrants of how you make money and different levels.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. And I see Mom had raised her hand and Omar and stuff like that. You know, I don't know if you guys are in a position to talk or anything like that because I don't see you, but yeah, good stuff. This is something where when I read it, I was like Shadrika, I really didn't quite know how to apply it. It was fascinating to me though, but I didn't know how to quite apply it. And then when I got in Primerica and I saw that it was part of the presentation that we were doing, when I went to my first opportunity meeting, I saw the cash flow quadrant. I was like, yo, that's that deal that I've seen. And it just blew me away. Omar, did you want to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, and we can see you.
Hey, man, that's actually the reason why I joined the company when I met you the first time around, because I had just read that Robert Kiyosaki book. And then I think like 2 weeks later, I met you and Steven. And I'm like looking at the presentation, like, I don't know these guys. I don't know what they're about, but they know about the cash flow quadrant. And then Steven started talking about it, and I was like, man, let's go ahead and try it. That's the reason why I joined. Yep.
That's what's up, man. That was perfect. That was a God thing right there.
Yeah.
You had just read the book, and here we are, a couple of guys running up on you talking about, hey, check out this cash flow quadrant.
Yeah.
And so I was so fascinated by it, guys. But it wasn't until I got in Primerica that the way that they explained it, it really unlocked it for me, right? So I'm gonna kind of give it to you guys as it was taught to me through the Primerica prism, right? And so it talked about the 4 ways to earn income. It talked about employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. It said the definition of an employee is a person who has a job where the income that you make is based on the position you have and not the person that you are. And when they said that, and I heard that, Auntie, I felt that. I was like, you know what? I always was in jobs, Coach B. Walk, where I didn't feel like I was getting paid what I was worth. I was right the whole time. They weren't paying me. They were paying the position that I had. So if I wanted to make more money, what did I have to do? Change positions. And isn't that what people do nowadays? In order for them to level up, if they can't get where they want to be, they just go ahead and change job. They find a different job. Is that what people are doing? Absolutely, right? But you don't control your income when you're on the job. You don't control if you get promoted. You don't control if you get a different position or anything like that. If you get more income with that position, you don't control any of that. It doesn't matter if you work hard, stay late, take on extra assignments, all these different things, work weekends, it doesn't matter. You have no control over your income. And as an employee, when they go behind those boardroom doors to make decisions about your life, they do not consult you as an employee. And that's the reality, right? And on top of that, you have a one-to-one relationship with your money to where you are the person that generates your income, right? Self-employed is something that where people say, hey, you know what? I don't want a job. I don't want to work for somebody. I want to work for myself, right? And so what do? They go out and they create a job. They go create a job. They become a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a hairstylist, a barber, real estate agent, or somebody that's just in sales, to where the more patients you see, the more clients you assist, the more people that you help get their hair done and all that, or more houses you sell, the more trinkets and widgets that you sell, the more money that you make. And that's a fair system, because if me and Omar are both salespeople and he's an all-star salesperson where he's out there busting his tail and helping people and selling a lot of things, he should get paid more than me. Now, that's not the case when you're an employee. When you're an employee, he could be the best employee there. He could be staying late with all this type of stuff, helping people, going above and beyond, all of that. If we have the same position, is it safe to say we're getting paid the same money? And if I'm a person that's not doing all of that, well, that's salary, that's an employee. But self-employed, you can separate yourself if you're an all-star, if you're just a person that does more. The only problem with being self-employed is that you have that one-to-one relationship with your money, to where you're the one that's providing and generating 100% of your income. And so if a self-employed person goes on vacation for a week, how much money do they make? Zero. If they get sick for 2 weeks, how much money are they making? Zero, right? And so 2 things are going to happen when a person is self-employed. Either they max out or they burn out. They max out or they burn out because they're only one person. There's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year. There's only a maximum that they can do. They're gonna hit a wall. So when you go back to that Pablo and Bruno story, Pablo, that's what ended up happening to him. He maxed out and then he burnt out. But when you have the business owner, that's the person that owns the system, has others working for them and with them, and they can make unlimited income. Why? Because they don't have a one-to-one relationship with their money. And then, of course, you have the investor. This is where everybody wants to be at some point, where you have your money working for you. You no longer have to work for it. And so when it comes to Primerica, these are the 4 ways to earn income. But the 2 ways to earn income in Primerica is self-employed or business owner. The self-employed person is the agent, right? This is the person that, hey, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to focus on my personal production, what I do, right? The business owner is the person that is building an agency, that they're recruiting, licensing, training, and developing people. So you have the self-employed versus business owner approach to the business. But regardless of where you are right now or where you want to be, you got to ask yourself, am I carrying buckets or am I building a pipeline? You can make a lot of money being an agent. But am I carrying buckets or am I building a pipeline? You can go out and you can do this for the client, do that for the client, man. Primerica direct deposit a bunch of money into your account. At the end of the day, that's fine. But am I carrying buckets or am I building a pipeline? And so let's talk about it. So our founder of Primerica, Art Williams, he said these things. He said, look, recruiting is the only way to build a big income and a secure income. Those 2 things are music to my ears, Coach B. Walk. I want to build a what? A big income and a secure income. Anybody else with me? You want to build a big income and a secure income, right? If I build a big income, I don't want it to go away next year. I want it to be there next year, the year after that, the year after that. I want to build a big income and a secure income. Well, if you want to do that, that's why you should recruit. Another reason, this is a key one, and he said this in that country accent a million times. If 100% of your income is based off what you do, then folks, you're going to get killed. That's what he was saying. Not literally killed, but figuratively in the business sense, you're going to get killed. Because if you get taken out, guess what? Your income gets taken out. And then last but not least, recruiting is the lifeblood of our business. Without recruiting, your business will die. Your business will die. And nobody wants to see that happen to your business or my business, right? And so these are the 3 intentions of recruiting. So believe it or not, there are people in Primerica, and you yourself may fall into one of these categories. They have intentions behind their recruiting. Well, Nick, doesn't everybody have the same intention? No. No, they don't. But they all fall in one of these 3 categories when it comes to recruiting. 3 intentions, right? So when it comes to recruiting, the 3 intentions that you'll see that people will fall into in categories is either they're going to recruit to recruit, they're going to recruit to sell, or they're going to recruit to build. Recruit to recruit, recruit to sell, recruit to build. Well, Nick, shouldn't everybody do the recruit to build? Yes. But do they do it? No. So let's talk about each of them for a little bit, right? So what's this recruiting to recruit? What are the signs of an organization that recruits to recruit? Well, I'll tell you. One is that the sole objective of that organization, while they get up in the morning and before they lay down, their sole objective is to secure IBAs. We want to get as many people recruited into the business as possible. We are in the IBA gathering business. We want to recruit. We just recruit a bunch of people. And then in addition to that, earning recognition, Auntie, is the driver behind it. We want to get recognized. We want to be the #1 recruiter in the company and all that good stuff. We want to get all the recognition. That is the #1 driver behind a lot of that stuff. But here's the challenge. Low to no licensing numbers. When an organization or a person is focused on recruiting to recruit, there's low to no licensing. Those people who are getting recruited in, a lot of them, the overwhelming majority of them, an embarrassing amount of them are not getting licensed. Why? Because there's no focus there. The focus is on just getting the IBAs. The business is a revolving door of associates. People come in, they leave. People come in, they leave. And so we like to say that with a recruit to recruit organization, Omar, people just recruit. They just throwing a bunch of stuff on the wall and just seeing what sticks. And the reason why that it's a revolving door, because no one is learning the business in this organization. And no one is making any money. All the field trainer, all the RVP is telling and coaching and drilling the people that you need to go recruit. You need to go recruit. You need to go recruit. But they're not teaching them the business, and no one is making really any money. And then last but not least, organizations that run like this, they can cause public relations problems for the company image. You know, mess around and do things like this, you can give Primerica a bad name, a bad rap, right? Because people say, hey, I got recruited into that thing, and they said it's going to be $99, $25 a month, and this, that, and the other, and I joined that thing, and then all they wanted me to do was just go recruit my people and recruit my friends. They didn't teach me nothing. I thought it was about financial services, and I didn't learn nothing. And what ends up happening is that people get upset and they get frustrated by that, and they start to speak out. And so it can cause a lot of problems. I was told it was a job. That's how they might recruit a lot of those people. You're right, Omar. Like, hey, you're coming in for an interview. You're coming in for an interview. And as part of the interview, you fill out a questionnaire and you have to put down references. You got to put down 6 references that we can call of people. And what are they doing with them references? They call them references, trying to recruit them. And so there are organizations that can actually run like that, because those are recruit to recruit organizations. And then what's the second type? You got recruit to sell organizations. And what do they focus on? They focus on selling life insurance to everyone in the recruits market. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just the way that they go about doing it. So how do they go about doing it? They try to sell everybody in the new recruits market before the new recruit really gets licensed. And there's no focus on replenishing the recruits market with referrals. There's no focus on that. And because of that, only the field trainers and the RVP is making money. And what happens to the new recruit when they get licensed? Well, they got low licensing numbers. So, but if they last and they do get licensed, because organizations that run like this, recruit to sell, they're not focused on getting that new recruit license. What they really want is the new recruits market, Auntie. Give me your list. Give me your market, because I want to sell all the who are all the qualified people. Let's go see them. Let's get them life insurance. Let's get them life insurance. So they go make 6, 7, 8, 10 sales in the new recruits market. Don't get them any referrals, and the recruit quits. Recruits quit because the field trainer chewed up and exhausted their market. So when they get licensed, who do they have to go see? Nobody. And guess what? Organizations that run like this, it creates a selfish culture within that organization. Everybody is selfish. Everybody's focused on them. Me, 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 me. Nobody's focused on pushing up people. Nobody's focused on helping somebody else learn the business. Nope. Just give me your list. We're going to go see these people. And once I've churned through your market, I'm on to the next recruit. I'm going to do the same thing with them. I'm going to churn through your market, and then I'm on to the next recruit. And if you stick around, hey, you stick around. But I'm recruiting the next person, not so I can develop them, train them, and build them, and teach them the business so they can duplicate what I'm doing. No. I'm recruiting you because that's my way to prospect for life insurance clients. Y'all ain't hearing me. That's recruiting to sell. And believe it or not, there are people in this business that this is what they do. They recruit to sell. But then the final one is recruiting to build. Recruiting to build. And so when you're recruiting to build, there's just some different focuses that you're keyed in on. Guys, I'm almost done. So your focus is you want to recruit people. You're not just recruiting anybody. You know, when you're recruiting to recruit, man, you're recruiting them from 18 to 88 years old. It don't matter. If a person can fog a mirror, they do it in IBA. If a person has no market at all, don't matter, do an IBA. We just gonna take your money because I'm trying to win this contest. I'm trying to get as many recruits as I can because they got an incentive on the table of the biggest recruit in the office. They get an opportunity to be able to speak at the meeting and they get this, that, and the other. I'm just trying to win this contest. I'm just trying to recruit everybody that I can. But when you're recruiting to build, there's a certain focus. You're recruiting the selective masses. You know, you're more selective in who you're trying to find. And you're looking for people that are available, credible, and coachable. That's part of your focus when you're recruiting. Are you available, credible, and coachable? And in addition to that, your focus is training recruits. You want to train those recruits to be independent producers and field trainers. Independent producers and field trainers. Not everybody's going to become a field trainer, but we want every licensed person to be at least equipped enough to be an independent producer, and they can go out and they can help families on their own, independent of a field trainer. But that's the focus of an organization that recruits and builds. In addition to that, there is a focus on getting the recruits licensed. My goodness, man, you want these people to come in and get their license. There's a focus there. There's also a focus on getting recruits promoted. Getting them promoted. You want them to earn their promotion, to get the different contract levels, to start building a team, getting an opportunity to create and earn overrides on their own. You want them to get promoted. And then the recruits are making money and getting recognized. And on top of that, in this type of organization, there is a culture of leadership. Why? Because people are growing, people are recruiting, people are getting licensed, people are getting trained and developed. So there has to be some leadership. There's a culture of leadership, Omar. There's a culture of accountability. There's a culture of accountability. There's a culture of growth. People have a growth mindset. They're willing to step outside of their box, get uncomfortable, work hard, all of that. But there's also a culture of fun, to where it feels good to know that you're doing the business the right way. And it also feels good to see not only just you winning, but to see your teammates winning, seeing your teammates make money, seeing people in the office and on the team getting promoted, getting licensed, getting recognized. It creates a family-centric culture of fun. And that's the recruiting and building organization. And you got to make a decision on how you want to approach the business. And I know that you say, hey, Nick, make no mistake about it, I want to do recruiting and I want to build, right? But then you got to ask yourself, are my words and my actions congruent? Are they lining up? I don't think that I've been recruiting to recruit, but have you? Even if it's for a short period of time, I don't think I've just been recruiting to sell. Okay, have you? See, that's something that we got to do a checkup from the neck up on, because you can easily drift or slip into one of those other categories outside of recruiting and building. All right. And so to be a recruiter and builder is to be a business owner, is to function on the right side of that cash flow quadrant. If you want to look at yourself as a recruiter and builder, that is to embrace entrepreneurship and to be a business owner. Right? And in addition to that, to be a recruiter and builder is to also embrace the fact that you want to earn overrides, because you're not going to earn overrides if you're not a recruiter and builder. If you're not recruiting to build, you're not earning overrides. The people that are recruiting to recruit, I promise you, they're not earning overrides. Not like that. The people who are recruiting to sell, they're trying to do the work in the selling. Where are the overrides? It's not happening. They're not even focused on it. They say, shoot, I'm on a 110% contract. It's about me. I'm on a 70% contract. Man, I'm going to write these people up. I'm going to make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and I'm on up the road. But I got to go recreate it next month. Instead of getting $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 in overrides, Auntie, they want to go write with their own pen and make that. See, when you're a recruiter and builder, to be a recruiter and builder, is to also lock in on earning overrides. And so it's a different mindset. It's the recruiting and building mindset. All right. So let's talk about the 4 types of businesses in Primerica. There's 4 types of businesses that you can build, right? Or you can embrace. How about that? You can embrace and you can try to build. And we talk about this a lot as an RVP leadership team. We talk about it a lot, y'all. And what I want to do is I want to share this with you guys. And Coach B Walk, Rahima, you guys can chime in on this, because you need to understand that you have a choice in the type of business that you want to build in this company below the level of RVP. And I want to share this with you tonight. This may be familiar to some, new to others, but the 4 types of businesses to build in Primerica, or really it's 5, I'm sorry, the 5 types of businesses to build in Primerica is personal producer, securities business, client servicing business, a builder's business, and then you have a balanced business. Personal producer, securities business, client servicing business, a builder's business, and then you have a balanced business, right? You have those types of businesses. All right, so let me make this correction real quick. I'm gonna make 2 corrections, right? So let me share these. Share these with you guys. See, I'm making corrections on the fly. Y'all don't mess with me. Don't play with me. All right, 5 types of businesses. Personal producer, securities business, client servicing business, builder's business. Then I made 1 quick adjustment, big balanced business. All right. So let's talk about the personal production business. When you're building a personal production business, Jadrika, a personal producer, you're focused solely on these things, right? You're focused solely on personal premium. Personal premium. You're writing personal life insurance premium. And it needs to be about $5,000 plus a month that you're writing. If you're really going to be in a personal producer business, if you're trying to live that life, 5,000 personal premium a month. In addition to that, if you're securities licensed, then you're looking to do about $50,000 a month or more in securities production, right? That's part of a personal producer's push. You're also focused on servicing your personal clients, making sure that they're okay, answering their questions, keeping in touch with them. You're servicing your personal client. Personal recruits is you're not really recruiting, maybe sometimes once every blue moon, because personal recruiting takes responsibility. It takes you away from what you're trying to do, right? You know, but then you're also focused on making some money on cash. But the cash that you're making is from personal commissions. Now, there's nothing wrong with this business if this is you. If this is what you want, nothing wrong with it. But just know that if you're going to be a personal producer, you need to be producing at a certain level to truly be considered a prosperous and successful personal producer. Your premium need to be about $5,000 plus a month in personal premium, $50,000 a month in securities. Make sure you're keeping up with your clients, you're servicing them, and you're making money. Whatever your goal is for money, you can make that as a personal producer, right? So that's that business. The next business is a securities business. And when a person is building a securities business, they focus solely on these things. Writing packs, monthly PACs. You need to be doing 20 plus packs a month. Now, this could be you by yourself, or this could be your organization, the people that you have. If you have a business where it might be just you, or it's you and other people, and y'all are focused on doing securities, man, you did 20 plus packs a month, rollovers 300,000 plus a month. You looking into getting your Series 65 managed money. You own it, man. You own it. You're servicing your clients and you're making money, but your money is coming from personal commissions and the residuals that you make from your securities business. These are securities focused business. Now, you see these people on Primerica that's making this crazy big money. Erica, they doing more than $300,000 in securities a month. And so if you want to get to that level, then look, you got to be stepping it up to where your volume is like you doing like $1 million a month, you know, if that's your focus. You get into that point. And you can make money not only off those personal commissions, but you can build your assets under management, and you can get started to get paid residuals every quarter. They call those trails and things like that. But in order for you to make some real significant money, Sean, off trails, you got to have a lot of assets under management. I ain't talking about like 5 million, 10 million, although that's good. You got to get them AUMs up high in order to be able to make real money off residuals, all right? And have a lot of packs coming in. But that's a securities-focused business, right? The next one, I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. This is a client servicing business. A client servicing business. And when you have a client servicing business, this only comes about if you've been in the game for a while. Like you've been around, like meaning that you have a client base already built up, Shadrika. You got clients, right? And you're focused solely on, you just working your CRM. And in order for you to be effective, you got to have probably about 750 plus clients. You know, where over the years, you've acquired clients, life insurance, investments, and different things like that. But you're working with about a total of about 750 plus clients. And what you do is, man, all you got to do, you focus on annual reviews. You pull your annual review report, man, you got about 50 of them to do this month. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You calling people on their birthday. You got about, all these different birthdays, people to call every month. So you're just working your clients. You're working your CRM. And from there, you'll find new opportunities. You'll find new opportunities. They'll give you referrals. They'll increase their life insurance. They got money over here. They need to roll over all that. And that's how you make your money. And then also you're doing the marketing campaigns through the Rep Marketing Center. So you're sending out campaigns and all that type of stuff. But you're doing that through CRM, I should say. I'm sorry about that. But CRM, you're sending out IRA campaigns, life insurance campaigns, all these different things. And people are responding to them. And you're getting new opportunities from that, right? You're getting referrals. And you're making money off of your personal commissions. You're making money off your personal commissions. So that is a client servicing business, but you really only get to that point when you've kind of been an OG in the game and you got about 750 plus clients and you've been working this thing and you can just survive off of that, right? Now, you probably can't make a whole lot of money doing it, but you can make a decent, really solid income just by having a client servicing business. As a matter of fact, we got RVPs that are in the Inc. hierarchy that this is kind of what they're doing. You guys know Edward and Cheryl Brown. This is how they're running their business. And they make anywhere from Rahima and B, what they make per month? What do they say they make probably each month in the business?
About $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Yeah,
about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Not recruiting, not doing trainings, not anything like that, but just servicing their clients. $4 to $5 grand a month. Not bad. Not bad, right? And so that's that type of business. And then you have the builders business. This one is probably the most popular. This is the one that gets talked about the most from the stage and all of that. These are the people that you see a lot of times in front of the mic, the builders business. And this is what they're focused on. They're focused on recruiting and life insurance premium. Recruiting and life insurance premium. Licensing is in there too, but recruiting and life insurance premium. So when it comes to recruiting, the recruits are at 20 plus a month. Licensing is anywhere from 4 to 6 plus a month. Premium is going to be over 30,000 a month. They're also focused on promotions, whether it's field trainers and regional vice presidents. They're focused on that. And also cash. The cash is coming from personal commissions and overrides. Personal commissions and overrides, right? So all of the people that you guys, you see them as superstars in the business, whether it's the ALC, the Hispanic community, whatever the case may be in the company, a lot of times these folks are building a builder's business, right? Focuses on recruits, premium, promotions, cash from personal commissions, overrides, all that good stuff. Licensing is in there as well. But the last one I want to share with you guys is a big balance business. A big balance business. And it's really kind of a Voltron combination of a couple of different things, right? So the big balance business, the focus is solely on, hey, you want to do big recruits too. I say 20 plus a month. You want to license the 4 to 6 plus people a month too. You want to do the premium, the $30,000 plus a month in premium. You want to promote field trainers and RVPs as well. You want to do securities. How much security? Let's say, hey, 300,000 plus a month. You want to do that. But in addition to those things, you're diversifying your business. You're working in some auto and home, some Vivint, some PLPP. People are mortgage licensing your business. Hey, you say, come on with it. Let's do it, right? You're also really kind of driven by, doing your wealth builders, your mobile F&As, your consultations, whatever you want to call it, right? You're doing a lot of those F&As and financial needs analysis. That's kind of how you service your clients. And in addition to that, you're making money a lot of different ways. You're making money on personal commissions, residuals, and overrides. Why? Because you're doing a lot of different things. You're doing recruiting, premium, licensing, securities, and you're doing all the other, client services products, client services, auto, home, Vivint. You're doing a lot of those things. I'll be honest with you guys. This is the business that I like. When I think about Raheem and I say, you know what? We want to get it all. We want to build a big, balanced business. And if you're a person that you say, Nick, I want to recruit and build, I'm here to encourage you. And I'm here to just say, hey, look, strongly consider. Don't just get caught up in the builder's business to where it's chocolate and vanilla, recruits and premium, chocolate and vanilla. Man, there's a lot of different flavors that are out there. Have you tasted salted caramel? Have you tasted a little bit of butter pecan? Have you tasted some daggum cookie? Have you tasted pralines and cream? It's a lot of different other ice cream flavors that are out there that are on the menu when you're building a big balanced business, and they taste amazing. So the big balance business, you focused on, you want to be great at a lot of it, not just a couple different things. And you want the same things. You want to build a hierarchy. You want to recruit people. You want field trainers. You want freedom. You want money, but you're just doing it a different way. So I want to strongly encourage you to consider building the big balanced business, because I think that it'll provide you long-term a bigger income and a more secure income. A bigger income and a more secure income long-term. Now, the builder's business, they might get off to a fast start. They might start burning down the woods and say they're the why, because they only got 2 things on the menu. But I promise you, the big balanced business is like the tortoise and the hare. It's going to come storming back. And if you do it right, you can build a bigger income, but definitely a more secure income. And your business, when Primerica evaluates your business, Sean, will be more profitable to the company. So if you try to sell your business, and if somebody that's a big deal sells their business, I guarantee you, your business will probably be more profitable, even if you try to sell it. All right. And so I'm finishing up. These are the 4 types of businesses. Again, personal producer business, securities business, client servicing business, builder's business, balance business, big balance business. Now it's the question of, what do you want? Out of those 4 types of businesses, those are the choices that 5 types. Those 5 types of business, what do you want? What do you want? But before you answer that, ask yourself this question. Based on what I choose, am I carrying buckets, or am I building a pipeline? Am I carrying buckets, or am I building a pipeline? Teammates, I want you to build a pipeline. I want you to build a pipeline that's going to pay you, and it's going to pay your family if you're not here. I want you to be able to build something that outlives you, right? Because why else are we doing all of this? You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to go do it just to make a living. But at the same time, we could do it, not only make a living, we can get a lot of income, but we can also help create a life, not only for ourselves, but a life of abundance for our family. So I strongly encourage you, build a pipeline. Build a pipeline. Don't carry buckets. build a pipeline. And the only way in Primerica that you could build a pipeline is through recruiting and building. And when you are recruiting and building, Julia, I strongly encourage you to focus on building a big, balanced business as you recruit and build. Are y'all with me? Give me a thumbs up if y'all with me. All right. Appreciate y'all, teammates.